welcome back. We have already seen a video about sharing our screen from PC. If you haven't seen that video yet, it is called Zoom for PC Sharing Your Screen. I would highly encourage you to watch that video before you watch this one if you have not yet. We ended on clicking the share screen button in that video. And what will happen is this. I have selected to share my entire first screen. So you'll see there's now a green box around the screen that I'm viewing right now, indicating to me that this is what Zoom is showing to everyone else. What will also pop up elsewhere on your computer is a bar like this. It will say you are screen sharing, and it has a lot of buttons on it. So we want to go through and see what those buttons do. First, if you want to change what you're sharing, this new share button will allow you to go back to this menu and pick something else you want to share instead. If you need to pause momentarily to maybe change something around, or you don't want students to see something for a second while you're changing from item to item, you can pause sharing. This will turn the border a different color to indicate that students are not seeing what you're doing anymore. And when you're finished and would like them to resume, you can click Resume Share. The annotate features are right here. If you click this button, you get another panel that you can move around and do many, many things. You can draw on the screen. You can spotlight, which is much like a laser pointer. If you want to get your students' attention, you can erase things you've drawn. You can put stamps. There's lots of great things you can do through this menu. Again, for students to do these while you're teaching may not be the best idea, but there are sometimes you can incorporate these tools to make it more interactive and enjoyable for students. If you want, when you are ready, you can say clear drawings. You can clear everyone else's, just your own, or everything at the same time from that menu. Remote control you will not need with your students. However, if you are ever sharing with other colleagues, say in a professional development or something similar, you can give access to your PC or Mac through this menu and allow that other person to actually control your device momentarily. This does need to be taken with a little bit of caution because that person can do whatever they want on your machine. So I would not suggest ever doing this in a class. However, it could be useful with other teachers and colleagues. In the More menu, you have a few options for things that can be beneficial while you're sharing. You can first disable participants, disable your students from being able to annotate on their own. This makes them not able to draw on your screen, so if they're abusing that, you can turn it off here. You can also show names of annotators, so if you want to see who is drawing what, it'll show their name next to whatever they draw on your computer. In the previous share menu, you might remember the options for sharing computer sound and optimize for full screen video clip. You can also toggle those here if you would like to turn them on and off on the fly during your call. Finally, the last two buttons we have are this small arrow. We can use this button to dock to the top of the screen that we were on, or if you're like me and don't like having it on the screen, you can use this to quickly drag it off and make it invisible to your students by putting it somewhere else if they can see it. Most of the time, by default, they will not be able to see it. I have it turned on though, so you can see my options during my call. And finally, the self-titled stop share button will stop anything you're doing on your screen. Notice that when you stop sharing, it allows students to share from then on as well, unless you turn it off later. If you have any other questions about screen sharing, please just let me know. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.